project on the plastic bank. Unfortunately, our instructor could not make it. He has abundance of presentations this week and he's kind of overbooked, so that's why we set the camera here so he can watch it on his own time. So just to give you a quick agenda of what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to start with a brief introduction about this project, dating back to January when we were first assigned, and kind of the conversations that we had with David and Sean. And then we'll kind of go over some of our market research, the methodology and how we came across our research. And then we'll highlight some key findings that led to eventually our sales strategy, which we'll go over in two parts. We'll start with the outbound, that's where we kind of put most of our focus on. But we also provide some inbound kind of tactics, techniques that we thought that maybe the plastic bank would be interested in hearing more about. We'll go over just controls, we have a budget and a schedule provided for you that we can go over, and just how you can kind of track and measure the success. And then we'll wrap it up with a conclusion.
Perfect.
So an introduction, I'm sure you are very aware of the plastic bank and their current mission, but just so Tom understands, through our research we know that the plastic bank's current mission is to reveal true value in waste plastic, and they also want to connect the developed world with the extreme poor, and they do this by creating a social plastic ecosystem. So kind of to sum it up for Tom, their main goal is to prevent plastic from entering the ocean while also alleviating poverty. And the reason why we really want to, make note of this is because, Simon Sinek once said, the marketing expert, people buy what you believe, not what you do. But it's why. Sorry. So people don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it, and it's what you do that proves what you believe. So that really hit home with us. We watched that TED Talk recently, or back in January, and we feel like that really sums up the plastic bank. People don't buy what they have; they buy why they do it, and that really played a huge factor when we were creating the sales strategy, with the primary goal to gain more Canadian clients for the plastic bank. So the problem that we kind of discussed in January with David and Sean is when they first started the company, they were focused on targeting the big fish. They targeted big major corporations such as Shell Oil and Unilever, and they didn't really have the time or the personnel to kind of focus on the small and medium-sized businesses, specifically here in Canada. And just the one major problem that we outlined at the very beginning of the project is the biggest barrier for kind of selling social plastic is just the fact that due to the dip in oil prices right now, virgin plastic is more affordable than recycled plastic. So where there is problems, there's also solutions. Two opportunities that we identified early on in the research phase is one, plastic is one of the most commonly used materials in the world. There's millions of corporations around the world that use plastic in consumer products or just in their daily operations. And also Canada is one of the most highly efficient recycling countries in the world, and both companies and consumers both highly value environmentally friendly products. So before we get into the market research, we just want to clarify with you and with Tom that there were some project adjustments. Back in January, it was kind of discussed that we would do more of an inbound sales strategy and try to find corporate clients in Canada and kind of pull them into the sales funnel here at the Plastic Bank. But they also told us that you were coming in at the beginning of 2017, and really the top priority was to provide the most value to you. And once we had a phone call discussion, the scope of the project was kind of changed to focus more on an outbound sales strategy. And now Sam will highlight the market research.
So for our market research, we conducted it in three ways. We did secondary research, qualitative research, and quantitative research. With the secondary research, it was mostly for us to get a better understanding of the business environment that the Plastic Bank operates in, and then also set up our subsequent primary research questions. So what would we figure out in secondary research, and how would that guide the rest of our research? So, sorry, we did quantitative as well. So for the primary research, we did qualitative research. We first did interviews with decision makers here at the Plastic Bank, Sean and David, and then we did some interviews with past and present clients that the Plastic Bank has. We talked with Lush, we talked with Return It, and we also then reached out to sustainability influencers and potential clients of the Plastic Bank. We found out all the potential clients from secondary research. So we, in the end, conducted 10 qualitative interviews with potential clients or past present clients. And we did make a marketing and business survey, which we put out to marketers and we put them out to businesses. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough responses for it to qualify as quantitative research. We just used that to bump up our qualitative research. For quantitative research, we created a consumer survey. So because of what the Plastic Bank does, consumer opinions, we thought that was really important. And when you're designing a sales strategy and you're going to potential clients, you want to be able to say, well, this is what consumers think. So we knew that you guys had done a lot of consumer research, but we did some of our own. So we created a consumer survey. We had 137 respondents. And this allowed us to have a lot of data points, statistical things that we could look at. So a summary of the findings, we have kind of 5 summary points. The first one, the trends towards a circular economy. Researchers, businesses, and consumers all support the idea of going towards a circular economy, and that works perfectly for the Plastic Bank because of the repurposing and upcycling into reusing plastic instead of producing virgin plastic. And then the second was transparency. Both business clients, potential business clients and consumers really value transparency in a business, and customers want to see that CSR efforts, they want to see the numbers, they want them quantified, they want to know exactly what their purchases are doing and what a company is doing with the money that they give them. And the third one was leveraging relationships with like-minded companies. So it sort of relates back to the slogan of the Plastic Bank of gathering together. We recognize a huge opportunity for the Plastic Bank in partnering with more companies, joining more associations, there's so many people that really believe in the same things that this company believes in, and there's a huge opportunity there for just to get your name out more by building those relationships. And then the fourth thing was to do with the logistics of people purchasing social plastic or partnering with the Plastic Bank to become a brand citizen or do in-kind support, is they really want to know the logistics behind it and know how easy it is to do the partnership and the quality of the plastic, the quality of the relationship. Everyone that we interviewed, they were really curious about social plastic, and then they were like, well, how long will it take me to get it, and how long will this going to take, and they just really wanted answers to things that we necessarily didn't know. And then the fifth thing was consumer demand. There's a huge consumer demand for recycled plastic. It's been growing over the past couple of years. Our research all points to it's just going to keep going up. Consumers, especially the millennial and Generation Z generations, they want companies that are environmentally friendly and socially responsible, which obviously is perfect for the Plastic Bank because that's what you guys do.
2 questions on that slide is,
Sure.
The trends for circular economy, was there anybody that was not for it? I'm just curious if anybody didn't care or...
Well, when we
was it
talked to
a big
Sean about it,
issue?
Sean said sort of that we don't want to interview those people in the first place.
Mhm.
You don't want to you don't want to convince someone to do
Sure.
what the Plastic Bank believes in. You're not trying to twist someone's arm who
Yeah.
doesn't believe in it. We aligned our research or the people that we interviewed with the goals and the same company values that you guys have. So we went to
Okay.
companies that were already using recycled plastic, or companies that, most of them already use recycled plastic, and just sort of how would they go about a process with you of starting to use your products.
Right. Okay, cool. And then number 4, ease of purchase and product quality. I guess you'll be able to show who was asking questions and such afterwards, and we'll be able to find that out.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
So
I'm
in
sure it's in
our
there.
report, there's full transcriptions of all the interviews, exactly how we asked it and things we said.
Awesome.
We also have the survey results, so every question we asked in the survey and the possible answers they could have had, and as well as the percentages of who answered what and how they answered it.
And for these findings, that was 137 companies or consumers?
So
and
this is a
companies?
combination of the secondary, qualitative, and quantitative. So
Okay.
secondary research, fully just based on going on different databases, looking at different reports, everything like that. Qualitative was all the interviews, so in-depth interviews. They're all about 20 to 30 minutes long that we talk to people, usually via phone or Skype. And then the quantitative is a survey, Google form. They went on and filled it out, and then we just downloaded the results and performed some analysis on it.
When you did the Skype calls, was it video or was it?
All
No.
audio.
All audio.
I was just
All
curious if you did video, if it was more effective or more open, so. Okay.
Everyone was pretty open.
Yeah.
It was a really good experience,
Yeah.
actually.
And like just so you know, that the kind of methodology is you kind of take what you find in the secondary and then take that information into the qualitative to see if you could back it up, and then take what you found from both of those and kind of put into a survey and to kind of test it kind of even more, I don't know.
It's really probing the questions that you don't find in secondary, and that's why we conducted the interviews with those sustainability experts and those people that are decision makers within their company, because for anything that we didn't find within secondary, we could find out here.
Okay, for the level of role that the people were in, what kind of level were they at? Like,
So
Some of them were founders, so we did go to a few startups that we knew were doing, so there's one in Vancouver, it's called Laundry Bodywear. They have a bodysuit that is made from recycled plastic. They work with Reprieve. Thank you, Reprieve, because we looked on LinkedIn and you're connected with someone there. They work with Kendra. Sorry, my mistake. So
but they work with Reprieve.
yeah.
Yes.
And we contacted them, just like, hey, we're doing this research, would you want to do an interview with us? So we had a phone interview with them, talked to both of the founders. We talked to some people who are in charge of sustainability at their company, talked to some people who are in charge of like sourcing.
Fabric specialists as well as the CEO of Return It. Just a variation. We want to get a variation of perspectives just because it really helped us get the right questions that we wanted to ask.
And like a well-rounded,
Rounded.
yeah.
In the appendix, we actually have not only the transcribed interview, but there's a little tiny profile of who they are in the role in the company
Sure.
in the appendix, so
Yeah.
you can kind of get a better understanding right there.
So we have made a few prospect lists. One of the first prospect lists we made was just plastic manufacturing companies. They're all over the world. It was just like an extra added thing that we found in throughout our research, so we put it in the report. Another prospect list is people who took the business survey, and we had asked them at the bottom of it, do you want to participate and maybe work with the Plastic Bank in the future, fill out your name and your contact info. So they put their contact info in, so we sent that to you because they are qualified prospects. And then the third one is the one we made off research. So we had a lot of questions in our consumer survey asking people how concerned they are with ocean plastic, how much they purchase from companies with well-defined CSR policies, if they would be more willing to buy a product if it had social plastic in it. And then we compared them, so we did cross-tab analysis. So you take the answers to 2 questions and compare the relationship. So we got a few relationships. One of them is that maybe the Plastic Bank might want to target companies who have women as a target market, women, or more likely to be concerned about ocean plastic and more likely to be concerned about ethically sourced labor. So we saw that as like, maybe that would be good companies to target. We just know that the Plastic Bank story could help those companies. Another one was targeting companies with Generation Z and millennials. They are more likely to, they say they're more likely to want to purchase from companies with appropriate CSR policies. And then the third one was companies with well-designed CSR policies. Those people said they would be more likely to purchase product if they knew it had social plastic in it. Just after hearing everything about the Plastic Bank, that was their answer to it. And then the third one was just targeting companies whose customers enjoy the ocean. It's not really anything groundbreaking, but people who are concerned about the ocean or spend a lot of time in the ocean, swimwear companies, anything to do with water sports, those customers spend their life in the ocean. And if they're a company they're buying their bathing suit from or their surfing equipment from, they really are gonna love the Plastic Bank story, and those are good companies to target because you can help their story.
Right.
So now we're going to move on to the sales strategy, and Damien is going to start that off.
So the sales strategy that we developed for you is really is based on the research that we found and recommendations that we've helped at each stage that you've done during the 6-stage sales process. So it really help enhance each stage as well as optimize just you being by yourself and being able to automate some of the nurturing content that you want to give to some of the prospective clients that you have. So both this sales strategy that we propose will have both inbound and outbound tactics, and as well as include internet marketing recommendations, and branding suggestions. So we'll start with the first part of the sales process, which is the initial contact, and then as you can see, it's the current sales process that you currently have. So the follow-up, the qualify, the present, negotiate, and the close. I'll be starting with the initial contact, and we'll go through each step and all the content that we've created for you to help nurture the prospect through each step of the sales process. So for the initial contact, we know that you're currently doing membership directories, conference exhibit lists, as well as looking up LinkedIn contacts for you to find new prospects for the Plastic Bank. And we think that's great. You should keep on going out with what you have. But we think that you should also add a trade show tour, as well as association memberships. And what we did was we actually collected a comprehensive list of trade shows that we think that the Plastic Bank would find really valuable. And because this is mostly because we found a lot of companies that are going to be attending these trade show events. The best part about being the Plastic Bank is being able to network with like-minded companies that are within the sustainability industry. And a lot of these companies will give you, a lot of these events will give you great ways for you to network with these companies. Two particular events that I'd like to talk about, the Leadership Summit for Sustainable Business and the Eco Fashion Week. These are two particular ones that we think that you should attend because they're Vancouver-based events. And these are great ways for you to get David or Sean to speak at these events because these events highlight business sustainable